structures of modifications are categorically listed as an adjective phrase structure of modification occurs when the adjective is head of the sentence. It is also a group of words that describe a noun or pronoun, with the main word being an adjective. It can include extra words that give more details or complete the meaning. For example, that was quite fabulous. Good job. The modifier is quite. The adjective is fabulous, but it has no complement. The sentence only has the modifier quite, and the adjective fabulous complements add extra information, but this one doesn't have any. The number 2 example, he has always been gorgeously handsome in my eyes. The modifier is gorgeously, the adjective is handsome, and the complement is in my eyes. The phrase in my eyes explains where or how the speaker thinks he is handsome, acting as the complement. Number 3 example, I hope that I'm not too skinny for your taste. The modifier is too. The adjective is skinny. The complement is for your taste. So the phrase for your taste clarifies whether the speaker's appearance fits the other person's preferences. The number 4 example is he is always just so clueless all the time. The modifier is always just so. The adjective is clueless, while the complement is all the time. The phrase all the time explains how often he is clueless, acting as a complement. Adjective phrases use modifiers to strengthen the adjective and complements to add details, making descriptions clearer and more specific. Prepositional phrase. Structure of modification occurs when the preposition is the head of the phrase. It starts with a preposition and ends with its object, a noun or pronoun. It often includes extra words that add detail and can modify other words, acting like adjectives or adverbs to give more information. Prepositional phrase is a group of words that starts with a preposition like in, on, at, of, with, and ends with a noun or pronoun called the object. It adds details about time, space, direction, or relationships. For example, what you did was such in favor of the proposal. The preposition in the sentence is in. The object of the preposition is favor, and the modifier is of the proposal. In favor shows support, and the complement of the proposal specifies what is being supported. Another example is the idea gets right to my head. The preposition is to. The object of the preposition is my head, and the modifier is my. To shows direction, and my head specifies the destination of the idea. The third example is I am feeling broken to the bones. The preposition is to. The object of the preposition is the bones, and the modifier is the. To shows extent or degree, and the bones explains how deeply the person feels broken. So in conclusion, the examples show prepositional phrases consisting of preposition and its object, which can include modifiers. These phrases add extra detail about location, time, or context in a sentence. And the last structures of modification is the adverb phrase. Adverb phrase structure of modification occurs when the adverb is the head of the phrase. It is a group of words that acts like an adverb, modifying a verb, adjective, or another adverb. It centers around an adverb and can include additional words for more detail. Adverb phrases usually answers questions like how, when, where, and why. For example, the test was done very rapidly that it doesn't seem accurate. The modifier is very, adverb is rapidly, and the complement is that it doesn't seem accurate. Very strengthens the adverb rapidly showing speed. The complement that it doesn't seem accurate explains the consequence of the rapid action. The number two example is you have studied more consistently this time than before. So the modifier in the sentence is more, and the adverb is consistently, and the complement is this time than before. More emphasizes the degree of consistently. The complement this time than before specifies when and compares it to the past. Number three example is your transformation is done very gradually. The modifier is very and the adverb is gradually, and there is no complement in this sentence. Very intensifies the adverb gradually, showing the slow pace. There is no additional complement here. The number for example is she reacted to the post so indifferently. The modifier in this sentence is so. The adjective is indifferently, and there is no complement in this sentence. So makes indefinitely stronger, emphasizing the lack of care. No complement is added here. In conclusion, this shows adverb phrases with a modifier to emphasize the adverb and additional complements to provide details like reasons, challenges, or time. These phrases clarify how, why, or when an action happened. This table demonstrates grammatical modification, how words change or add to the meaning of other words. Let's take human journey. Human is a noun modifying the noun journey, adding a specific type of journey. Now look at burning bridges. Burning is a verb modifying the noun bridges, giving us a more vivid image. We see different types of modification: nouns modifying nouns, verbs modifying nouns, adjectives modifying nouns, adverbs modifying verbs, and prepositional phrases modifying verbs, and prepositional phrases modifying nouns. This illustrates the flexible and complex ways we build sentence in English. While the table shows common patterns of word modification, there are always exceptions and less common constructions. The blank spaces acknowledge that not every possible modification pattern is included in this simplified example.
Good day, Ma'am Hanilu Handikala. I am Ruela May Olivares and I'm going to report about noun and verb praise. Noun and verb praise are usually the head of the praise but not all the times. The head also includes other grammatical categories such as adjective as head and adverb and preposition as a head. These are the three examples. Number one, I am so happy to see you. Happy is the adverb head. Number two, I would like to see you very soon. Soon is the adverb head. Number three, I dropped it straight down the drain. The preposition of head is down the drain. Structures of modification are categorically listed: noun praise and verb praise. Noun praise structures of modification occur when the noun is the head of praise. Here's the example: a complicated story. It is indeed a complicated story. Next example, a beautiful caricature. I saw a beautiful caricature. Next, the very kind people. Yours are the very kind people. The next one is a verb phrase. Verb phrase structures of modification occurs when the verb is head of the phrase. Here's the example. Number 1. Meticulously work. I know you always work meticulously. 2. Honorably stood. He honorably stood for the principles that he believes in life. Number 3 example. Have always practiced. I have always practiced self-restraint. That's all my report, ma'am. Good day and thank you.
So hello everyone, I am Angel Toribio and my topic is all about the structure of modification. Modification is the use of words or phrase to show further descriptions about a thing, a person, a place, an action, or any quality being labeled. In general, modification is a structural construction where grammatical element is modified by another. In such a case, one element have the structural dependence on the other is the element of the higher significance in the sentence is called the head, while the accompanying element is called the modifier. These make up the structures of modifications. So I have here the examples. If we have a friend and we are describing her or him, the modifier is started in the way we describe our friends. So we have here another examples of the structures of modification. So let's proceed for the number 1.
The woman performed the dance. No modifier. But when we say, the lovely woman performed the dance gracefully, the words lovely in the sentence is an adjective describing the woman, which is noun, and the words gracefully is an adverb that describing the verbs perform. These descriptors are examples of words modifier, where lovely and gracefully carry the structures of modification, while woman and perform are the head.
And number 2.
Frankly speaking, I think that is a losing case. Frankly speaking is an adverbial phrase modifying the verb think. It's tell us how the speaker thinks. And for the losing is an adjective modifying the noun case. It's tell us what kind of case it is.
Okay, take note everyone. The structures of modification is composed of 2 elements. Number 1, the main words of the head. And number 2, the modifier which describe the head and in a way affecting the head's meaning. So, the modifier may be a word or phrase. The basic modifier are adjective and adverb. Adjective are modifier of noun and adverb are modifier of verb. Adjective modifier may come in a series when words of different grammatical level have a one grammatical function.
Adjectives modify nouns and pronouns.
For example, she is beautiful. Here, the adjective beautiful modifies the pronoun she.
Adjectives that modify nouns are used after a determiner and before the noun. For example, the king married a charming princess. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Adverbs that modify adjectives or adverbs are used immediately in front of the word they modify. For example, the nurse very gently put the baby in the cradle.
Again, a modifier is a word or phrase that adds information about another word or phrase. So, before we continue our topic, there's another type of modifier. So, let's watch this.
Good day everyone, my name is Angel D. Micolob and today I will be discussing the structure of coordination. So what is coordination? Coordination comes from the Latin word concilio inito, which means join together. In linguistics, coordination is a syntactic structure that joins together two or more elements called conjoins or conjuncts. These conjoins are linked by a coordinator or conjunction which signals the coordination. So, coordination appears between two or more elements that join together. So, I have here our example. I went to the store and bought some groceries. Her assistant is very young, but a quick learner. So, as you can see, I underlined the word and but because those words are called coordinators. So next, structure of coordination are classified as synthetic, asynthetic, and polysynthetic. So what is synthetic? Synthetic if the elements are joined by the coordinating conjunction. So, for example, she wakes up early, but she came late. Notice that the conjunction and connecting the different parts of a sentence. So, next, asynthetic. Asynthetic when the coordinations are not necessarily present but could be inserted. For example, she wakes up early, yet she came late. So, our asynthetic structure coordination here is the word yet. And last, the polysynthetic, when the coordinator is reoccurring between each pair of units. For example, she wakes up fast and early and she arrived to school on time. So, as you can see here, you can see the coordinators are repeated. And that's all my report.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. I am Rhea Visaison and I'll be discussing about the classification of conjunctions. So what is conjunction? A word used to connect clauses or sentences to coordinate words in the same clauses. Are classified as coordinating, subordinating, collocative, and conjunctive adverbs. Coordinating conjunction includes for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, or fanboys, which joins words, phrases, clauses, or sentences. For example, cup and saucer are make or break. So, the coordinated conjunction here are and or. Another example here is, I like coffee but my wife prefers tea. Another example, here's a small but aggressive dog. Subordinating conjunction, or the subordinators linked to the dependent and independent clause. Subordinating conjunctions mostly appears in the complex sentences when adverbs acting as conjunctions and placed at the beginning of the clause and precedes the main clause, and comma is needed. So here are the other examples or types of subordinating conjunctions. Concession, though, although, even though, while. Reason, because, since, why, in order that, so that. Indicates time, after, by the time, till, while, as long as, now, now that, until, as soon as, once, when, before, since, and whenever. In the comparison, here is than, whereas, rather than, whether, as much as. In the manners, how, although, as if. And in the condition, unless, if, only if, provided that, even if, in case that, lest, until, assuming that. Relative adjective, whatever, what, which, that, in places, where, wherever. In the comparison, whom, whomover, whose, who, whoever. So I'll read some of the examples. I study because I want a better future. So the subordinating conjunction here is because reasoning that she wants a better future. Another example, he must leave the ball before the clock strikes midnight. So the subordinated conjunction here is before, indicating that she must leave before the clock strikes at midnight. Correlative conjunction are the connectors that comes in pair and connect the parts of the sentence that show equal importance. When two subjects are singular and plural, the subject closest to the verb affects the verb. Sentences that correlating conjunction have to be constructed in a way that conjoins a parallel, such as joining words of the same grammatical category, noun, verb, adjective, etc. Correlative conjunction includes as, just as, so, both, and, whether or not, hardly, when, either, or, rather than, whereas, therefore, if, then, not, but, with that, and, not only, but also, since, therefore, no sooner than, whether, or, so, as. So I'll read some of the examples of the sentences that have correlative conjunction. Number 1, we'll have both cheesecake and chocolate cake. So the correlative conjunction here is both and. Either John or David must have done this mischief. So the correlative conjunction here is either and or. Another example, just as I love films, so does my brother love sport. So the correlative conjunction here is just as and so. And lastly, the conjunctive adverbs. So the conjunctive adverbs are used as linking device between elements or ideas. They denote the local relationship between clauses and sentences. The functions of conjunctive adverbs are either connect and contrast ideas or indicate results. So here are the examples. Connecting similar ideas, besides, likewise, also, furthermore, moreover. Connecting contrast ideas, nevertheless, still, instead, rather, however, nonetheless, conversely, and otherwise. Indicates results, consequently, meanwhile, therefore, thus, accordingly, hence, then, and so. I'll read some of the examples. The students are trained well, therefore, they can execute better. So the conjunctive adverb here is therefore that indicates result. Another one, they exerted effort in practicing, consequently, they won. So the conjunctive adverb here is consequently indicates result. Another example, he is rich, however, he chooses to live a modest life. So the conjunctive adverb here is however, that indicates connecting contrast ideas.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Rafael P. Villamor, and I'm going to discuss about complement. Let me define complement. Complement is a word or phrase that completes the statement. So, there are examples above. Every day is an opportunity. In the sentence above, every day is the subject, is the verb that links the subject and the complement, which is an opportunity. So when the linking verb and the complement are merged as one unit, they become verb phrase. This makes up the structure of complementation. Structure of complementation is a verb phrase comprising two major components: the verbal component or VB and the complement C. The verbal component may be finite verb or verb phrase. So finite verb is a verb that is limited by a subject and expresses tense, number, and person. An infinitive without to or a present participle. Infinitive is a base form of a verb, typically preceded by the verb. In short, it is the connection between the verb and the word or group of words that completed the meaning. So there are types of structure of complementation which is be recorded by the next reporter.
Hello everyone, I am Nevet Zaris Basoy. Today I'm going to discuss you the subject complement. What is subject complement? Subject complement is a word or group that follow the linking verb. So the pattern is subject plus linking verb plus subject complement. So a subject complement is a word or group of words that comes after linking verb and describes or identifies the subject of the sentence. So, for example, the cat is floppy. Cat is the subject, is the linking verb, and floppy is the subject complement because it describes the cat. It tells us what kind of cat it is. So another example, my favorite color is blue. Color is the subject, is the linking verb, and blue is the subject. Complement, identifying which color is the favorite. So now, subject complements are not limited, not just adjectives. They can be nouns, pronouns, phrases, or even clauses, for instance. The complements could be a noun or pronoun, an object, and an adjective, an adverb, a punctuation word, an infinitive, and a present participle. So these are the examples.
Good day everyone, especially Ma'am Hanilu Handikala. I am Rinalyn Duriza and now I am going to discuss about the object complement. What is object complement? It is a predicative expression that follows a direct object or states what the object has become. The pattern of the objective complement is subject plus transitive verb plus direct object. To make it short, the object complement comes after the direct object and it describes or renames the direct object. For example, I saw the baby sleeping. To identify what the object complement in the sentence, we must find first the direct object. Always remember that the direct object receives the action or the verb in the sentence and it answers the question what or who. In the given example, the direct object in the sentence, I saw the baby sleeping, is the baby. Why? Because it it receives the action or the verb. The object complement is sleeping since it comes after the direct object and also it describes the baby or the direct object is doing. Again, the object complement in the sentence I saw the baby sleeping is the word sleeping because it comes after the direct object and it tells or describes what the direct object or the baby is doing. Next example is the boss named Grace the new manager. The direct object in the sentence is graced. Why? Because it receives the action or the verb in the sentence, which is the word named. The boss, the boss named Grace the new manager. Therefore, the object complement in the sentence is the new manager. Why? Because it renames the direct object, or it tells who Grace is. Next, Ben painted the table black. So, to identify what is the objective or the object complement is, we must first find the direct object. So, the direct object in the sentence is table. Why? Because it receives the action of the verb, which is the word painted. Ben painted the table black. So, what is the object complement in the sentence? The word black. Why? Because it describes the direct object or the table. Okay. So, an object complement is also a combination of an direct or an indirect and direct object. The putters is subject plus verb, indirect object, and direct object. First example, she falls something. Something is describing the what the subject is feeling. So this is an example of a single word indefinite pronoun. And this pronoun, this is a pronoun that doesn't refers to any specific person, place, or things. Second example, she sees the pen, or sorry, she sees the pen. The pen is the object, the subject says. She says the pen. So this is an example of a single word noun. And the single word noun is a noun that directly names the direct object. Third, she wants to write about it. To write about it, it describes what she wants or what the subject wants. And this is an example of infinitive verb phrase. And this is a verb phrase that starts with to and describes what she wants to do or what the subject wants to do. Next is she desires writing the story. Writing the story is the thing that the subject or she desires. This is an example of gerund. Gerund is a verb from ending in gerund is a verb form ending in ing that acts as a noun. Last, she knows what he is doing. And what he is doing describes what she wants or what the subject wants. This is an example of clause. Clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb that functions as a noun. That's all. Thank you.